Okay, right here we have Excalibur issue 35. This is the first Excalibur series from Marvel. This is written by Scott Lobdell. I don't remember who drew this thing. It is Ross and Al Milgrom. I don't know who Ross is. It's not Alex Ross, it's some other Ross. Basically, the premise of this issue is that a little girl, this one right here, she's 6 years old. She has been kidnapped, and we don't know who did it. It's some dude. He's introduced relatively early in the comic book, and this guy, he's not important. Basically, he kidnapped this little girl, but he was being possessed by an evil demon named Despair. I don't know how you spell his name. It's a weird misspelling of the name. I don't know a lot about Despair. I've read, I think, 2 issues with him. This one and one of the early 80s issues of X-Men. And basically, this issue, according to this issue, he is a demon from a parallel world. He says that many worlds have fallen at his hands. I'm not sure if he's lying or if he's telling the truth. He does not seem like an A-list villain. He doesn't seem like someone like, say, Kang the Conqueror or anyone like that. I don't entirely buy that he has entire worlds fallen at his fingertips, if you know what I mean. It doesn't seem possible, but whatever. This issue does not really focus on the entire team. That's them. This is Megan and Captain Britain, Widget, Nightcrawler, Rachel Summers, and Kitty Pryde. This is, like I said, the first issue of Scott Lobdell's run. Before this, the whole series was being written by Chris Claremont, if I am not mistaken. And you can still read those issues in the Excalibur Classics series, which is collected in 5 volumes. But this is a pretty good first issue. If you had never read any of Excalibur, I would say this is a great issue to jump in on. It gives you everything that you need to know, which is that little girl, I think her name is Amy, that little girl is kidnapped, and that's all you really need to know. And then it tells you that Rachel is from the future, and not only that, she's from a future where she was used to hunt other mutants. This cover is a little bit misleading. There's Ahab from the Days of Future Present storyline that happened 2 or 3 years before this comic, probably. He is just a figment of her imagination. He is not actually in this story, so if you had read the Days of Future Present story and then you're thinking, oh boy, Ahab is in this comic. No, not really. He's just in her mind. He doesn't really exist, nor do any of these guys exist. Just Rachel and Despair. Basically, this is a nice done-in-one issue. I know a lot of people really like to bag on Scott Lobdell, especially for his New 52 work. He has done some New 52 stuff that I haven't heard anyone say is any good. This is really good. You would almost not believe that this is written by the same guy if you are one of those people who really hates his New 52 work. In my opinion, this is really solid stuff. It's a nice introduction to the team of Excalibur, even though basically Rachel is the only one featured. You do see a little bit of future Nightcrawler. You do see like 1 panel of Shadowcat and 2 or 3 panels with Megan and Captain Britain, but they're not really important here, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what the rest of Scott Lobdell's run has in store. I think he was only on this series for about 6 issues. If I am not mistaken, he was basically just a fill-in guy until Alan Davis came back to the series to write and draw, if I'm not mistaken. And those are collected in the Alan Davis Visionaries series, and I believe there is 3 volumes of that series, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really have a whole lot to say here, guys. It's a nice little done-in-one story. There are a couple of advertisements that amused me. Right here we have an advertisement for Elektra Lives Again, which I just recently purchased that graphic novel. So it's nice to see that around, I guess, 1991, that was coming out for the first time. And there was also another funny one. I'm going to go ahead and, there we go. Intense. I hope I didn't just give you vertigo. This is an advertisement for the Silver Surfer arcade game from Nintendo. I have never heard of it, but then again, I'm not really a video game guy, so I don't know a lot about video games. I'm not even going to pretend I do. We have the Possessor Reptile, spelled weird. You know what? That's a thing of the 90s. A lot of names are misspelled, except that Despair actually comes from the 80s. Then you have Mephisto, Firelord, and Emperor. Oddly enough, those names are all spelled correctly. That's about all I have here, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that maybe I got you guys to go to a comic book shop and look for this issue. Or better yet, go and look for any issue of Excalibur, because this is a highly underrated series from the 1990s. If you love X-Men, go pick this series up, because it's related to the X-Men. A lot of these characters are considered to be X-Men characters, but this is not, strictly speaking, tied to the X-Men of the 1990s. So you can definitely read this series, and you don't have to have a lot of background of what was going on in the 1980s in the X-Men series, or what was going on at the time in the current X-Men comics that were going on at the time this was. This is definitely a very new reader-friendly comic, so I would suggest that you guys try and find it in your back issue bins, or go and read any issue of Excalibur. And that's all I have to say in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.